So, what's the right way to struggle? Okay? The right way to struggle looks like this. The right way is to struggle with temptation, sometimes falling, but moving in the right direction. Let me tell you what the key distinction is. Temptation is not sin, all right? Temptation is a part of life in a fallen world, all right? Temptation is never going away. Are you tracking with me? It's never going away. I'll use some examples. It's probably going to get me in trouble. Don't care. This time of year is specifically difficult for men. It's difficult for men because it gets warmer and clothes get smaller. And just for the record, there's an inordinate amount of cleavage that comes out this time of the year and forces men to stare at the ceiling, to stare at the ground, to put their seat in the corner. What are you doing? Shut up, all right? And try to avoid, all right, the sultriness of our age. And just, this is free. Do you know in the book of Timothy, God speaks directly to women on how they dress? So I'll say it this way. God cares. He says, and I know you're like, the man shouldn't be telling me how to. I'm not telling you. I'm quoting the Bible to you. All right? The book of Timothy says that women should dress in such a way that brings attention to their beautiful face and their warm soul. And not to objectify themselves to the temptation that men will give you attention based on that. All right? It's what Paul tells the women in Ephesus. That was free. Let's get back to my point. So the temptation to look at a beautiful woman is not necessarily sinful. And I don't think God's taken away. I've met men who struggle with lust who are like, God, just take away that. Do you really want God to do that? You no longer find women attractive. I mean, you want God to lift that from you? I personally do not want God to lift that from me. I like to look at my wife and go, how good you are, all right? I like that I find my wife attractive. I like that, all right? So the temptation isn't removed, but in the moment of temptation, I've got a choice to lay that down, see that woman as a soul, to see that woman as, or objectify her in sin. The temptation to look is not sinful. The reality of dwelling or anything more absolutely is, okay? So temptation and a temptation to sin isn't sin. Jesus was tempted, the book of Hebrews tells us. Hebrews 4 says that Jesus was tempted in every way so that we would have an empathetic high priest. Okay? Not only that, but one of the greatest verses in the Bible is found in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Listen to this. 10:13 says this. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. Love it. That means I will be tempted by nothing that everyone else isn't also tempted by. It's not like God has a special temptation for you. Oxygen. All right, it's not the way it works. All right, we're all tempted the same way. Pride, arrogance, lust, idolatry, to make things more ultimate, to not trust the Lord. We're all tempted in the same way.